Now, the #1 story of the week. Just about every agency has a long list now of appointees and nominees from President Joe Biden. Many of them are appointees that the Senate doesn't need to confirm. Janice Lachance is Executive Vice President at the American Geophysical Union, former Director of the Office of Personnel Management. Jeri Buchholz is former Chief Human Capital Officer at NASA. Ladies, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Janice, we talked about this last time you were on the program. Are you seeing this happening in the way that you expected with these political appointees, don't need confirmation, coming in and really getting rolling at these agencies?
I think the Biden transition and now the Biden administration may be writing the how-to manual for transitions for administrations of the future. I think this is exemplary. It's a great way to handle this interim period while people are waiting to be confirmed. It continues to work. The Biden administration recognized the country was in crisis to a great extent between the pandemic and the economic repercussions of that and some of the other priorities they've set forth, like climate and diversity. The reality is we couldn't afford a 2, 3, 4 month gap. That's not to let the Senate off the hook. They still have to vet and confirm some 1,200 appointees. So hopefully that will keep moving. But this partnership between political appointees and the career civil service who have stepped up and taken on a lot of these acting roles is going to ensure that the citizens get what they need from this government without a gap.
Jeri, it's great to see you again. Welcome back. What is the value, both from your experience as an HR professional, but also a career executive at a very important agency like NASA is? What's the value in having these folks coming in right away and being able to give some guidance to the career people about where things are going to go?
Oh, you can't even measure it. It is so important. And clearly the president understands that he needs the power of 2 million plus public servants of the U.S. federal government behind him in order to accomplish his very important agenda. Additionally, it's not just that they've hired these people fast. They've done it efficiently and effectively. They've used structured interviews in a staged process. Structured interviews are the best way to select a high-quality workforce. So what they've done is not just exemplary in terms of timing, it's also exemplary in terms of HR.
What does that term mean, structured interview, Jeri? How is that something that could work in other parts of the government too, not just for political appointees?
It is used across the federal government, perhaps not as much as it could be. So a structured interview is a series of questions designed to tease out the skills and competencies that you are looking for with a scoring mechanism. And then every interview, as they interview each candidate, scores each answers, and then the scores are rolled up, and you're able to rate and rank your candidates based on the skill sets that you need for the job. And over again, human resources research has proved that this is the most effective way to hire people for any job.
Janice, to your point about the Biden administration potentially rewriting kind of the guidebook on how to do this, is there an appropriate role for OPM or for Congress to codify this so that whoever the next administration is, whenever they come in, maybe not force them to do it because it's their choice to choose the people they want for these jobs, but to at least kind of harden the process or mature the process, I'm not even sure what the right word is, so that this does continue to happen administration after administration?
I think documenting best practices makes sense across the board, and certainly in a time of uncertainty and squishiness in the government where people are on their way out, others are on their way in, to have an organized and documented process to follow that you can choose to follow or modify really would be a great help. And I do think that it it takes a lot of parties. It takes OPM. It takes the White House to make sure that they are giving advice to an incoming administration. The Congress plays an important role in all of this through oversight and through just informal advice from staff to staff and member to elected officials. I think across the board, not to mention that there are great groups supporting these processes. There's ASPA, there's NAPA, there's the partnership. There are so many organizations who have studied this that really trying to track it, and particularly this year, I think will really help people maintain that continuity so that the American people don't have any kind of gap in service, gap in leadership, or delay in program or policy implementation.
About 30 seconds left, so a very quick thought from each of you. Janice, you're first. What will you watch?
Well, I'll watch how fast the Senate takes on the other 1,200 people that they have to confirm once they're done with the cabinet. Those are critical roles. They touch everything in this government, everything in the country, everything in the world. And I think the Senate owes it to the American people to move expeditiously on those.
Jeri, 15 seconds.
I will watch how fast the Biden administration can build trust with federal workforce to get them to stand up and speak up and do the good work of the public service.
Jeri Buchholz and Janice Lachance, thanks both very much. I appreciate your time today.